Welcome into Tappy Vegas, brought to you by Better and Green. Today we're breaking down UFC Des Moines, Figueiredo versus Sandhagen. Thank you to our friends over at DraftKings. If you guys would like some free money, make sure you guys click the link in our description. They're giving away $150 in free bets just for a $5 deposit, $5 bet. Bobby, let's just get straight into it. We got 5 fights like we do every week that we kind of pinpointed to see, you know what, maybe there's some value here. These are some interesting fights. So let's start with the first one. Bobby, take it away.
Gaston Bolanos, he's going up against Quang Bang Lee, and I think Gaston Bolanos takes this pretty handily. Not much to really go off of here with Quang Lee. Came over from LFA August of last year, lost a unanimous decision to Chris Gutierrez last November. Finished by strikes in round 3 by Long Zhu. Don't think he's going to get his first UFC win up against Bolanos. Just don't see it happening. Bolanos is definitely doing well. He's coming off a pretty dominant dismantling of Cortavius Romeus last November. And I know in hindsight, some of you might be thinking that's aging poorly because Cortavius is now gone from the UFC. But I mean, come on now. Bolanos in his very early UFC career has been doing well. He has had 4 fights in the organization. He's had 3 fights in the organization. He's won 2 of those. His only loss so far has come at the hands of Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's looked very, very good. So no shame in losing to Marcos McGee there. But yeah, beat Aaron Phillips. Cortavius, as I mentioned, came over from Bellator. Pretty extensive record of competition in Bellator, starting in 2017 up until 2023 when he signed with the UFC. His only skid in Bellator was a little 2-fight skid that he rebounded from and, got signed to the UFC. So very deceptive because his record's 8-4. But, man, the guy is a lot better than his record shows. This is one of those cases where his record is, 8-4, but he's a lot better than that. Also has a lot of striking experience with a lot of Muay Thai fights before he transitioned fully to MMA, some kickboxing bouts here and there. So, guy's a striker, definitely got some power, definitely very, very good with his strikes, his strike selection, the power that he possesses. He was just battering the hell out of Cortavius all around the octagon. Cortavius just had no answers for him. I think he does the same thing to Quang Lee. It sucks, but once you already have that headspace of, you're on a 2-fight skid after your UFC, chance was realized and everything, they're just looking for an excuse to cut you. And unfortunately, I think Quang Lee's going to give it to him. Gaston Bolanos is just the guy on the come up, and Quang Lee definitely is the guy whose graph is definitely taking a nosedive off the charts. And that's unfortunate, but hey, maybe he'll make it back in the future. Because his 8-2 record is very deceptive for a different reason, in that his record, you would think he's better than he is, and he's just not. Not much impresses me about Quang Lee. I mean, he's a good striker as well. He has some submission wins on his record as well, but I think this is going to be primarily a standing fight. Both the guys are going to be, striking, really trying to do some damage. It shouldn't be boring, I would hope. They're both going to be hunting for the finish, and my money's on Bolanos. Especially when I'm getting Bolanos at only a -135, Quang Lee's at a +114. I really, really think this should be a lot more one-sided in Bolanos' favor. So this feels like a steal. 73% of bets are coming in on Bolanos, 27% on Quang Lee. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But you're still getting Bolanos if you choose KO TKO at +300, which I just think is really amazing to be able to get it at such good odds like that. So I think I'm going to go, Bolanos by KO TKO at +300. I just don't trust Quang Lee's chin. I think he's going to be way too eager to get into a firefight with Bolanos, and he's not going to be able to stand. At the end, it's going to be Bolanos still standing. What do you think?
I don't really disagree with anything you have there. So I'm just going to go straight to the Vegas. Little concern here. I am also on Bolanos with you. 73% of bets on Bolanos, so he's very public, and 49% of the money. So it's like, that's a lot of sharp money coming in for Lee. It's like 27% of bets, but you have 51% of the pot. I don't know what people are seeing out there. Maybe it's just because it's a close fight, so they're taking, you know what, if it's a 50-50 coin toss, I'm going to take the dog. Like you and me think this isn't a 50-50 fight. We think there's quite a bit more to have with Bolanos, that his striking is just better. So it's public, but at the same time, they'd have to pay out over 50% at plus money odds versus 49% at minus 135. Maybe that's enough to like put the publicness of it in the back of your mind, but I don't love those numbers, but I think Bolanos wins this fight. So I'm going to be right there in the same boat with you, Bobby. I will take money line, though, just to be safe, cover our bases since you already took the KO.
I think we got some record gazers is what we got. I think that's really the main explanation, is that people just see 8-2 versus 8-4, and that's just kind of what they go off of.
That's a great point, too. That's a great point. I didn't think about that. They could absolutely be doing that. Also seeing that Lee has the reach advantage while it's just 1 inch. So you and me know that's not – that reach isn't going to matter in this fight. But people might be seeing that in the record and just saying, you know what, I'm going to take Lee for the underdog odds. Let's talk about the second fight. We're talking about Marina Rodriguez versus Gillian Robertson. And there's two things that you guys need to know about this fight. One is that one of these fighters is very talented, is very attractive, one of those type of people you can take home to the family, bilingual, just an absolute stand-up person. And then there's Gillian Robertson, and she's the woman that's going to win this fight. That's my breakdown. That's my breakdown. Rodriguez, I mean, she's fine. She's great. I'm going to say was great. I really do think she's on the decline. 1-4 in her last 5 fights. And I think I've taken her the last 2 fights too, and she's lost. And it's just, I think it's just the decline is what I think we're seeing here. And I think that she's going to have a really hard time with Robertson's wrestling is kind of the way I'm seeing this fight. Rodriguez, much more, she wants to like stand and strike. This goes to the ground. She does have that BJJ background. I just don't think she's going to submit Robertson. I think this is going to be another boring decision with the favorite coming out on top. I hate to say that, especially like looking back at our under or betting the spread, the +3.5 article that we do every week. Bobby, I don't know if you've been following it, keeping up with it. 0-7 run right now. 7 straight losses of the underdogs. And a couple of them, I'd say probably 4 or 5 maybe. So like a majority of them have not even gone to decision. These women are being finished. I think this is probably a decision one, but I think it's going to be Robertson by decision, and that's actually going to be my pick. I'm not going to take Robertson by finish or money line. I'm just going to take her by decision and call it. What do you think?
Still believe in my waifu, Marina Rodriguez. I also think Gillian Robertson's great. I think they're both very underrated for the weight class. Another example, Gillian Robertson's better than her record suggests. Marina Rodriguez better than her record suggests. They're both really good for the division. Both fun fighters. I'm a fan of both women immensely. Honestly, I really am, and I don't say that about women's fights in general. In fact, I'm usually accused of being a misogynist when it comes to women's MMA for the most part, but not with these two. They're actually very good fighters that are always entertaining, in my humble opinion.
Yes.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, I know that Rodriguez is definitely on a skid, right? She's already old. She's 37. She got a late start in MMA. She originally started off doing it just to kind of stay active, stay in shape. She had a regular day job. I forget what it was. And, one thing led to another. She realized she had some success in MMA, had the opportunity to actually make it a career. So, she's been able to live out that dream, right? She's been able to go places she never could have imagined when starting this journey she'd be able to do, and the sport's taken her to events and places that just were kind of unattainable to her when she first started out, and she just never thought it was possible. But I'm giving her one last chance. I feel like she should have always been heading towards that Joanna Jędrzejczyk sprawl and brawl style. That was what she should have always been working on, is just sprawl, wear them out, come forward, push the pace, brawl, control the distance. Just like that was like her prototype for success. And I don't know what, impacted her ability to not really follow through with that game plan and kind of learn, because they have very similar styles, very similar builds. striking prowess, that type of thing. So that would have been a perfect case study for her. So unfortunately, it just never really gelled for her, just never really came through. And, the BJJ training just didn't honestly really seem when she goes up against grapplers to really honestly do anything for her. So I
Right.
don't know
Right.
why. I mean, I'll give her credit. Usually in her losses, these tough losses that she's had, it's been with women who are just a lot stronger than her, right? Like the Jessica Andrade fight that we covered on this show last April, right? So Jessica Andrade, obviously a unit for the division, very powerful, very physically tough, and that was a very close decision, right? Like Marina Rodriguez held her own, and it was pretty razor close on that decision loss. Yasmin Lucindo, another strong, powerful woman. Before that, she was able to KO and just absolutely dismantle, make Michelle Waterson Gomez look silly. Jandaroba's good, so no shame in losing to
Yeah.
Jandaroba. Amanda Lemos, basically another Jessica Andrade. No shame in losing to her late in the round 3. And before that, she beat Yan John John. So, I mean, beat Mackenzie Dern, beat Michelle Waterson Gomez's ass again, beat Amanda Hebos. She's beaten a lot of good names
Yep.
and everything. It's just she usually gets held down by powerful women. Carla Esparza, very decorated female wrestler. So, like, my whole thing is like Gillian Robertson. Yes, she is a very talented, very good grappler. She's even choked out Rose Namajunas in competitions before. But I mean, she's not exactly physically strong, right? She's not exactly physically intimidating like Jessica Andrade, like Amanda Lemos. So I'm hoping that Rodriguez can just kind of control that pace, control that distance, sprawl if Robertson tries to shoot on her. Robertson gets a little sloppy. She smokes the devil's lettuce. Maybe she'll pull a protest and get gassed out. I don't know, but I'm just going on Rodriguez because I get why the odds are the way that they are. But I mean, Rodriguez at plus 240 money line is just insane. Robertson at minus 298. 85% on Robertson, 15% on Rodriguez. So Vegas ain't shook. I might even come back to this for a haymaker. We'll see. But for now, I'm just sticking with Rodriguez money line, hoping she can sprawl, control that distance, do all the things she should have been doing. And that since Gillian Robertson's not exactly a TRT enhanced tank of a lady, that she'll be able to not just be overwhelmed by Robertson, even if she does get her down, that she can at least try to scramble, get back up to her feet, and just at least coast to a decision. So,
Yeah, and I gave out the decision earlier. I didn't say a odds for it. Decision for Robertson is just even money. It's plus 100. Bobby was just saying the betting percentages, 85 and 15, and then for Robertson, 85% of the bets, 74% of the money. So we're seeing a little bit of sharp money on Rodriguez, but once again, that's likely just because she's the underdog. So you're going to see more money pouring in on her. But being on the not public side is usually a good thing. So, Bobby, I don't hate it. And I think that there's a chance, especially if this does go to decision like I think it does, then who knows what the judges are going to decide.
judges could just be making a grocery list, bro. We don't even know.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, take this third fight away, man.
Yeah, so third fight we have Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. This is going to be a really great fight, and I am salivating over these odds because I thought this would have been another huge disparity. Montel Jackson's only at minus 198. Daniel Marcos is at a plus 164. Another fight I really feel like this should be a huge discrepancy. Montel Jackson is on a tear lately, right? Like, man,
Yes.
18 seconds into round 1, just annihilated Damon Blackshear. Uh, Hani Yaya in 2023 just absolutely annihilated him. 3 minutes 42 seconds into round 1 for Yaya, and then decision over Julio Arce, JP Buys, Jesse Strader. Like, dude is just on a tear all the time, all breaks, no gas. Even submitted Brian Boom Keller. Only blemishes in his debut. Lost to Ricky Simone. No shame there. You know who else lost to Ricky Simone early up in their come up?
Oh.
Marab Devishvili got choked out
Oh.
actually by Ricky Simone. So no shame there. Yeah, man was literally on his bicycle. He got choked out literally in like the last seconds of the last round. And when Ricky Simone let go of the choke, Merab Dvalishvili looked like he's riding a little bicycle, dude. He's fucking out
Wow.
cold, riding his little bicycle. Yeah. So yeah, lost to Brett Johns and lost to Ricky Simone. Other than that, man has been pretty damn good in the UFC since coming in 2018. Biggest hands in the division. Apparently, his hands are the size of Francis Ngannou. I know there's a lot of crossover between people obsessed with hands in MMA and obsessed with them in football. So, yeah, big old hands that he's got, and the man is just a KO artist. And Daniel Marcos ain't got a fucking chance in hell. Not a fucking chance. So, I hope you're all tuned in to Daniel Marcus's funeral, and I don't give a fuck that he's 17-0 with one no contest. That man's gonna be on a fucking gurney, fucking carted out of the arena with a little oxygen tank attached to him like you're a boiler. So, especially when you have the audacity to put this man at only a minus 198, this man should be at a minus 800. We should be doing nickel
Ooh.
numbers right now, and I ain't talking about 5 cents. I'm talking about Bo. I'm talking about Habib
Yeah.
Nurmagomedov numbers. It's bullshit. Oh my. Who? Get Vegas on the line. Get Vegas on the line. How are you getting Montel Jackson KO TKO at plus 350? Who done fucked up? What bookie out there is about to get their ass busted? You're getting Montel Jackson KO TKO at plus 350. 350. That Loch Ness monster owe me about 350. Let's count how many KOs Montel Jackson has right quick. We're about to do a little 21 Savage style counting. 1, 2, 3. Well, 4 counting this. I'm surprised it's only 3. But still, 3 to carry over if you count the Contender Series. 4 KOs at the high level of MMA that translates over. Like I am shocked it's only 3, but I mean, come on, dude. The man is just insane with the strikes. He's just
Yeah.
insane with it. You have to have an iron chin to outlast this man. So I think it's still worth it. I definitely think it's still worth it. I get it's a 3-round fight, 15 minutes. I thought I was going to see way more KO TKOs, but I'm still happy with 3. And especially back to back. 2023 when he fought Yaya. Had a lot of fights canceled, probably because people were scared. Basharat canceled, Saeed canceled, Chris Gutierrez canceled. So last July was his last fight against Blackshear. So, I mean, you're already coming off 2 back-to-back KOs. You know, you finished Jesse Strader. You finished Brian Kelleher. I think the dude can do it. So that's where my money's going on. I'm going on Jackson KO TKO at about 350. What do you think?
We're locked up on this one also. I don't know if I'm going to do the KO with Marcos being 17-0. I think maybe it goes to decision, but I do think Jackson is just way better. And if I had to pick a method, I would pick knockout for Jackson too. So I'm just going to wimp out and take the money line. Looking at the betting splits, 76% of the bets are on Jackson, 24% on Marcos. And like I was saying earlier, you know, a lot of those sharps are like getting in on all the underdogs and stuff. Actually, sharp money coming in on Jackson. So 78% of the money's on Jackson versus 24% of the bets and 22% of the money on Marcos. It's just not looking good for him. Marcos, he just doesn't do anything good enough, in my opinion, to like, how is he going to beat Jackson? We just saw, was it Cameron Simon versus, I forget, the dude's name starts with like a W.
Wellmaker.
Wellmaker, yes. And it was kind of like one of those things. It's his power, you know, this guy's got a lot of power, but Simon, you know, he's really good too. Well, we saw what power does. I mean, just put Simon asleep.
Yeah, that hook was nasty. That was a beautiful textbook counter hook right there. Didn't flinch because Simon actually landed a really good jab, it looked like, on him.
Yeah.
Didn't even flinch, dude. Just ate the jab. It's all right. I'll eat the jab to put you out clean with a nice counter hook.
Exactly. And so we see what power can do. I think Jax can get it done. But once again, take a money line just so I can cover all of our bases. Let's talk about the fourth fight. My boy, take off the Y. That's Bo Nickal versus Reinier, De Ritter. I love both of these guys. I obviously love my wrestlers, love my grapplers. This one I thought was actually really hard because we were so worried about the Paul Craig fight. If he goes to the ground, there's a chance he can get submitted. It was, to me, a super boring fight that Bo just stood, didn't try to really take him down, and just like box him the whole time. I don't, I don't feel like that's gonna happen again because I think Ritter knows that he's gonna lose the striking battle, so he's going to want to take this to the ground, and I think Nickal's going to not oblige him, but I think he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to meet him on the ground for a little bit. And then that scared me and made me want to take Ritter because if this does go to the ground, I think Ritter's the much better submission artist than Bo Nickal. But then I kept thinking about it, and like in wrestling, when they start you at like the beginning of a period, you can choose top or bottom, and then on top you can work. Well, if Nickal's able to do something like that and just stay on the back of Ritter, like if he gets a takedown or something and he could just stay behind him, stay behind the arms, don't let Ritter get to his back and crawl into his guard. Like if he goes to his back and you're there, you need to stand up and back away. As long as you're the one that's behind working, like punch in the face. I mean, like you could go for the rear naked, but it just really worries me. I don't want Nickal grappling with this guy. I just want him to control this fight, win with his punches, win with his takedowns. I think Ritter is a very dangerous guy, but I will go with Bo here. Gosh, Bo's so good though. He could win in like any way. I don't know if he has a KO power. Bo Nickal by decision, maybe. I mean, he's already not. You're not getting great odds on Bo. He's gonna have to fight somebody really good for us to ever get any odds worth anything for Bo. Bo by decision plus 215. Bo by KO at plus 140. I don't think Bo knocks him out. But I mean, Ritter did get rocked though in his last fight. I don't know. What do
Was it
you think?
start?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
tough
Beer
because
fart.
I'm thinking about when Bo Nickal grappled against give me a second here, dude. The guy who was pretty damn Gordon Ryan. Gosh damn it. I
Gordon
knew
Ryan,
it
yep.
was him. Yeah, Gordon Ryan. Uh yeah, man. I get that Gordon Ryan's on a lot of, steroids and whatnot. Excuse me. I believe that he could possibly, maybe, there's great potential that if I was Gordon Ryan, I would be leveraging certain compounds for some certain effects that would be very conducive to competing at the highest levels of organized combat sports. Excuse me. And if I was leveraging such compounds, that would give me quite the edge when it comes to weight and when it comes to muscle mass over somebody who I am substantially larger than. So, as a result of that, should I be that surprised on December 7th, 2019, when Nickal was submitted with a triangle choke by Gordon Ryan? I don't know, because this is MMA, and obviously these two guys do want to grapple, and that is the path to success for both of them. But
Right.
the rules of MMA do make it to where every fight starts standing, and they have to initiate that, and there's certain factors that you have to be aware of in MMA that you do not have in regular submission grappling, such as punches, elbows, knees, etc., etc. So with all that being said, yeah, I don't know, man. If this stays
Hard.
standing, it's going to be ugly and disgusting for both of them.
Yeah.
And I still kind of think, I guess I lean towards Nickal, but man, if this does go to some heavy grappling, is this going to be like a Ben Askren, Damian Maya, where the wrestler gets submitted? Nickal's been submitted by a grappler before, like by a BJJ type guy. Is this going to be one of those situations? This is a very scary fight for Nickal, so props to him for taking it.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. This is definitely his biggest challenge so far. It's a hell of a lot better than
Big
beating
time.
landscape artist on like 10-day notice. That's for damn sure. Uh, Minus 345. That's the best you're going to get him so far in his career. Plus
Right.
275 money for De Ritter. This is a tough one, man. Yeah,
It
this is a
is.
tough one. There's definitely some danger there for Nickal for sure.
Because I say like rock, paper, scissors, and like is like the striking, the BJJ, and the wrestling. And it's like one of them always beats the other one, right? So like
Right.
in this scenario, like usually I say the submission artist beats the wrestler because it's gonna go to the ground. They both want it on the ground, but the submission artist is gonna be more dangerous. So I'm kind of going against my own thinking here. But Bo Nickal, like a multi-time national champion that faced really good competition and was like in the race to be a U.S. Olympic wrestler, just didn't make it because there's so many incredible wrestlers in the United States. Like I just think maybe his wrestling is just good enough to like overcome that. But I don't know.
Yeah, at least he's not like Askren, where he's already at the tail end of his career and he already
Right.
needs like hip surgery. So it's like, man, we
Right.
missed prime Ben Askren. So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I guess I'll just go with you on Nickal by decision. But man, I'm not going to be surprised if it turns out the Ritter sub. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
Oh,
I'll just do that. I think Nickel's generational. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but if there's anybody that can do it, it's him. And
agreed.
he's a lot better. He's a lot younger than Askren, and yeah, I'll go with him.
And we could always come back to the Ritter sub for Haymaker too. So it's something to keep in
Yeah.
mind.
hmm
All right, man. Take away the main fight.
So Corey Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Yeah, I this is a fight where the odds I think are pretty damn accurate. You're getting Sandhagen at minus 550. You're getting Figueiredo at a plus 410. And yeah, Figgy when he moved up had some success. He did really well against Rob Font. Let me see, Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, right? But Peter Yan, that last fight, that started to expose kind of the ceiling, right? That started to showcase the cap on his talent in this division. And, Sandhagen's kind of similar to Peter Yan in a lot of ways, both really creative strikers who kind of implement that striking and that grappling together very well, very seamlessly. When Sandhagen and Jan fought each other, that was one of the best fights of that year, probably one of the best fights of the decade, honestly. That was an amazing fight. And we know what Figgy is, right? Figgy's another guy at the tail end of his career. It feels like Sandhagen still has a lot left in the tank. Definitely has potential to try to get a shot at the belt again. Try to make his case for being the next man up with a win over Figgy. And yeah, I feel like he's younger. He's hungrier. I mean, let me double check that. Maybe Figgy just looks old as hell. I mean, he's not going to be old. He's probably going to be in his late 30s, but
I think
you
you're
know how
right
it
though.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33 for Sandhagen, so still got a lot of time left, got a lot of tread still on the tires and everything. 17 and 5. Figgy's 24, 4 and 1. And then Figgy is how old's
I think like
Figster?
38,
37. So yeah.
37.
Yeah, creeping up on 38. He'll be 38 this December. And this is at one of those weight classes where relying on that fast twitch, relying on that speed, that's one of the first things to go. And, it's not really Figgy necessarily, but Figgy definitely relies on a lot of strength and a lot of power. Could he be like Yo Romero with the super juice and, the old man strength? Maybe, but he's just not a creative striker, man. Peter Yan just demonstrated, like I said, the cap on his ceiling. He still has the same problems. If you can get creative enough to, avoid those punches, just have them whiffing, just have them chasing you, just pick them apart, make it a little decision, get a little flashy with it and everything. He's not going to be able to take you down. He wasn't able to take down Jan. I don't think he's going to be able to take down Sandhagen. He gets really tired really quick at this weight class, and he starts telegraphing so bad on his takedowns. You see him coming from a mile away. Sandhagen's pretty good at avoiding that. He'll sprawl. He'll just dance out of the way. He'll cut off at an angle instead of just backing up in a straight line, and he'll just pick apart Figueiredo. Like Figueiredo does not have the good footwork to be able to keep up with Sandhagen. He can't cut the angle to meet Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen's just going to dance circles around the guy, unfortunately. And it's just going to be the typical problem of a Figgy fight. If he can't put you out, he's going to just spend the rest of the fight looking for that shot that just never materializes, and then he's just going to lose a decision. So I just unfortunately think that's what's going to happen. I mean, if Brandon Moreno can hold you down, Brandon Moreno TKO'd him. I can't imagine what Sandhagen's going to do, Sandhagen's going to, do some things to that boy's eyelids that make a jelly donut blush. Like, I'm telling you, he's going to fill that man up. So, yeah, I really find it hard to disagree with these odds. They seem a bit astronomical and a bit comical, but Figueiredo just doesn't have it, man. We've seen what he is. He doesn't have that footwork, and the only thing that's going to give him a shot is if he just comes out radically different than he ever has. And this late in his career, it's very hard to make changes, and I just don't see him coming out with radically improved footwork, radically improved cage control, just able to kind of walk somebody down, keep up with them, cut corners, radically different cardio, and not just telegraph takedown attempts when he gets desperate because he knows he's getting picked apart and losing on the feet. Like, he just shoots from miles out, man. Like, even Ray Charles could see it. So it's hard because you're not getting Sandhagen and anything too crazy unless you're picking sub, and I just don't think he's going to do sub. Like I said, he has no reason to. He's just going to easily avoid the takedown, sprawl on them, just have Figueiredo eating canvas all fucking night, I feel like. So yeah, I'm just going to go Sandhagen. Decisions at minus 150, KO, TKO. I'll just go KO, TKO because it's a 5-round fight, and it can be done, if nothing else, by doctor stoppage. Sandhagen has some pretty vicious elbows. Maybe those open up a cut. Maybe the punches open up a cut or something, and it's a doctor stoppage kind of late, like end of the third, end of the fourth type situation. I'll go with that. What do you think?
I also think it's Sandhagen. I don't think Figgy's going to win this fight. I think Figgy was on a good run there, and I think like this is as far as he goes. Like he's already starting to hit obstacles now. Now he has Sandhagen. It's just I like Figgy. This isn't anything against Figgy. It's just I think Sandhagen gets it done here. I am going to take the decision just because, like you said, I think this is going to be a lot of standing, a lot of eating the floor, a lot of up against the cage. I don't think it's going to be a terribly interesting fight, but I just think if Sandhagen's smart, and I think he knows this too, if he fights smart, he's going to win this fight. And so instead of going out there and going for a finish or really putting himself in any danger, it's going to be a very safe game plan. Pit, pat, keep moving around, and get out of there with a decision win. That's what I'm thinking.
There we go.
Well, Bobby, what are you thinking for Haymaker? A big plus odd play that we can give the people before we get out of here.
I think I'm going to have to go Mahina Rodriguez KO TKO at plus 1,100. Just too tantalizing.
Going the quadruple digits again.
Yeah. You just got to swing, baby. You just got to swing for the fences. You can't do these milquetoast weak little, I think maybe I'll take a plus 250 for the negative 6 million favorite and act like a big brain genius. No, you got to swing. You got to swing. You got meat in your pants. You got to swing, bro. You got to put it on the table, dog.
Big swings only. Home runs or you're striking out if you're a man.
Right, exactly, bro. Anything else, there's a tampon dispenser in the bathroom. It's 25 cents for a pad.
Bobby, thanks for hopping on with me. Hey, guys, we put out our plays last week. I don't think we had time to record. Oh, because the draft was last week. The NFL draft was going on. So we were watching that. We had a lot of stuff last week, so we didn't get around to filming. But we put the plays out on social media. So that's another reason to make sure that you guys are. And I mean, we missed 2 videos this year, which pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good for us. But we always put out the graphics, though. So that's why you guys need to make sure that you follow us on all social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We post all of our plays over there. And make sure you guys subscribe, too, because we post these videos nonstop. We do extra videos, too, like fixing the UFC that just came out, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So make sure you guys maybe check that video out after this one, but also make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace, guys.
Peace.